talk about women's health care. And this is something that I really need to bring to a lot of women's attention. I don't know if you paid it attention, but one thing that they say before you take on any type of medical, a new medical procedure, they always tell you, always consult with a healthcare provider before trying any method to induce labor, as they can provide guidance of safe practices based on individuals' health and circumstances. Well, if you try to consult with any type of healthcare provider, it's not going to help. What are they going to do? Because now they have been intimidated, bullied. They're scared to uh, give any woman uh, any type of health care. Deaths that are going on now that could have been preventable uh, is now intentional, and this is outrageous. So any woman out there, what you need to do is vote, because you have rights, and you need to make an informed decision about your health. Years ago, we didn't in my area, and I don't like to say back in the day because we're still in that time, or we're trying to get sent back to that time. In my era, you thought Diddy had his oil. Okay, well, let's tell the story. Let's talk about it. Women had their oils too. And one of the oils was castor oil. And castor oil induced labor in a lot of women. And what I'm basically saying is now it's like going back to a method of, of finding things for women that shouldn't have to. We're in a modern age, and they have all this technology, and none of it can be used now to save a woman's life. This could all be prevented. And who designed this? Who is the architect of our death now, when we should have a strong voice and a strong choice in our healthcare decisions? Who devised this? None other than the predecessor that evidently don't want to see women live, because we're not going to live through this if we go back to those ways. And they're banned decisions for women health care across, I don't know, about 29 or more states. And the bottom line here is, if you don't think that your life is in danger, and like I said, they've had women in, I think it was Texas, that lost their lives when it could have been prevented. It could have been prevented. And now, like I said, it is all intentional. And there's no reason to go back to a method of this, of quinine, of eating, doing excessive exercise. There's no reason to have, to be under so much stress that you can lose your child. There's no reason that you couldn't have IVF, because everybody can't have children on the drop of a dime. And it's sad. It is really sad, because I'm going to say it again. We cannot go back to this. We can't. This is unreal. And they constantly say, see your health care provider. What? For him to watch you die? For you to go out on a lot and bleed out? That's insane. This is all insane. And I'm saying to every woman out there, please vote. Vote. Your life now do depends on it. Your children's life depends on it. Their children's lives depend on it. And this can't go on. This has to be stopped. And I know doctors are afraid. They are afraid. They were afraid in COVID. They were demoralized. They made choices that they never had to make. And look at the choices that they have to make now. Talking about a Hippocratic, oh my God, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And for all the women out here that don't feel like the predecessor is going to seriously uh, not intervene in stopping the birth of our kids, our health care, you're wrong. If you haven't noticed throughout this whole process where everybody has been stressed out totally, coming down to the elections and having women's rights taken away from them, and like you say, animals have more rights than we do, then it is like I said, it is basically very, very important that you get out there and vote because it could be your last vote. Everybody in my crew, in my day, uh, didn't have access to this technology. And if you, we were poor. And there were choices made that a lot of women didn't want to make. And they made those choices and they did not make it out. And what I'm saying to every woman tonight, I want you guys to live, to see your kids, to see your grandkids, to be given the health care that you deserve, um, that it shouldn't be restricted because of your race, because of socioeconomic purposes, because of income. It should not be be restricted. Basically, all over the world, universal, every woman has the right and deserves appropriate health care. And we're not going to get that if we don't get out and vote. Please vote. Vote because your life do depends on it. If you get in a fix and you have complications in that pregnancy, or even if you get a surrogate now and something happens to that surrogate, think about that. There's not going to be any help. There's not going to be any help. And we shouldn't ever go back to a day where, like I said, in my day, when we had less choices, when a lot of my friends are no longer here because we couldn't afford it. We didn't have the insurance. We were frightened. Uh, Doctors was like, you go home, walk it off, and you bled out, and we're back here again. That's that's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And so, what I want to say to all the women, please, this is very important. Get out there, vote, because your life do depend on it. I'm not gonna hold you guys up long because uh, I know you're looking forward to the debate with J.D. Vance, another person that's Captain Killjoy on the women that uh, who doesn't want to see us live or have kids, or Mr. Catman. Uh, and I hope Tim Walsh draw circles around his balls and all. Tie him up and let him feel like what it's like when you can't, when you're having complications. And that's what I think Tim is going to do for him tonight. Give him complications and let him have it full blast. But like I said, I didn't want to keep you guys too long. Um, I had a lot of information that I wanted to read up on. Um, I wanted to say, even in my day, uh, a DNC was just a regular procedure that women had, and now you can't even have that. And the way these women are out here dying, it is unnecessary, it is preventable, and please realize that this is one of my favorite books. Doctors do harm, but now they're under pressure to do harm. They're under pressure to do harm, and you 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 can't get any help. You cannot. You get in a situation and something happens and you go into complications, or if you want a child, or if you want a surrogate to have that, it's nothing that you can't get any help. And that is absolutely frightening because, once again, they do say, see your healthcare provider. And like I said, for what? For what? Just for them to watch you die and bleed out. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to stay long because I do want to see this debate between Walsh and Vance. And like I said, Vance is the architect of this, of women not having the essential health care that they need. The predecessor took away, brags on Roe v. Wade, taking away that. And this should raise all the hair on your head, all the hair. So on that note, I'm going to get out of here. And please, once again, vote because your life now do depends on it. Thank you. Mm. Woo, how I cut this off? Hmm. It just says cancel. Huh? What do you say, Woo?
It goes here, the X,